Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And I really have to thank you, Dr. Anidi. I felt so terrible. I was overseas for so long, and between one thing and another, I was over in 5 countries recently, in the Far East, and I wasn't on top of my schedule, I'm afraid. So I really have to apologize for missing emails. Hi, I mean, Dr. Needy did say I'm here to representing how much the UK's gone ahead. I'm afraid I have to throw back on that one. We may be as a company here be pushing ahead with great technologies, but certainly my visit now just to the Far East, where I've been over in Malaysia, then Singapore, then Vietnam, then China and Hong Kong, has really opened my eyes up to just how much further ahead many of these other countries are actually proceeding and actually getting on with it. Is what I'd say is really moving forward. One of my as well known, one of my big focuses now going forward is to look at the Middle East, and I see the Middle East as being an amazing bed where the growth is quite phenomenal, and that's where smart buildings, smart technology, and cities really need to be coming to the fore. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just share a slide deck now and take you through really what we see as being a major issue in pushing ahead with getting buildings much smarter. Um, I'm Paul Sheedy. I'm the CEO and the founder of Unified. We are all about building intelligence. And what I'm going to do today is take you through a number of areas we're involved with, but also companies we're working very closely with. So a lot of what Unified is about is collaborating with other companies where we see the perfect fit between what they're delivering and what we're doing. And our whole system, our whole sort of ethos here is you cannot manage what you cannot measure. And the more you have measurement tools in your buildings, the more you can proceed and really have a grip on net zero and have a grip on how you deliver sustainability, lower energy costs, and also save your building in terms of how you run the building. And it's all about data, and that data delivered is information. And then the building actually thinking for itself. So delivering into a building wisdom based on what it has and based on what it expects to happen and what it's seen happen in the past. And we're trying to get buildings to think for themselves going forward. A lot of what we're trying to do in terms of really cutting edge stuff is develop even non-powered microchips. So we're currently developing with Manchester Metropolitan University a way of harnessing energy from Wi-Fi from 2.4, 5, 6, and 7G, and harness that energy to deliver ultra low powered IoT devices, which will literally pull energy out of the radio waves which are surrounding us all the time and deliver for us just the minimum amount of data we need for us to make decisions. I'm particularly focused on the high-rise sector. So in terms of universities, hospitals, high-rise commercial buildings, they're the key sectors we look at, which is why I'm so focused on the Middle East going right now as a company. Some of the statistics are very simple. Buildings are certainly in the UK are not getting used anywhere near about how they used to get used pre-COVID, and that is not changing, sadly. It's probably also, if I'm being a little critical here, but it's probably also why we're having such low growth. Whereas in the Far East, everybody's back to work, and I'm sure in the Middle East it's gone the same way. The data speaks for itself. People are still running buildings as they did in 2019 with as little as 2% occupancy on a Friday. This is actually a bank that we work with, who consistently now for more than 3 years have never had more than 2% of staff in. That is appallingly low, and to think you're running an entire building as if it's full, as it was in 2019, is just heartbreaking for me. It's an enormous waste of energy, and that's what we're here to change. What we help do is help your building look at the key points that we see as being critical to deliver efficiencies: security, how you engage with people in reception on both the ground floor and each floor that people get out of, how you target net zero energy reduction, how you bring better facilities management optimization. But number one is safety of people in buildings. What buildings seem to keep forgetting is that it's all about the occupants. Buildings are built for people, not for sensors, not for HVAC, not for anything else. They're built for people. And we've got to put people number one in this scenario. Now, where we are right now in the world is we have technology. We've got disruptive technologies in terms of industrial IoT, cloud solutions, AI, in various modes. Okay, so it's not just one. AI is a broad spectrum. And then we have the demand. We need to start looking at how we lower energy usage down, how we get better engagement with buildings. And where we are is at the heart of how we bring digital transformation, the pull and the push, and matching up correctly what should happen efficiently, cost effectively, so you maintain your margins. In fact, you increase your profitability. Our whole focus is what do you do in your building to increase your profitability with your first layer of smart building technology, and then look at maybe what you should be doing because it's a good thing to do that may actually cost you money. But there's so much there for you to really maximize profitability. It's quite amazing. Now, I'm going to first of all focus on a piece I haven't done in previous years is on fire and the amazing work we've done over the last couple of years with our partners, this time over in Shanghai. How we're looking at taking in all of the parties, the building owners, the fire department of the country, and looking at how we look delivering key data so you know your buildings run correctly. You reduce your staff needs, you increase your efficiencies, and you deliver back for the building the compliance that it really needs. And that compliance is important because what we're really doing is the insurance sector. We're getting to a stage now where we deliver it to you such granular detail on how well you're running your building, on how you're reacting to everything that should be done, complying with all the regulations. And then you use that as leverage. You go back with that database and you hand it back to your insurers. And you say, look, this is my building. This is how I'm running it. And based on that, we want to now negotiate how we leverage our fire premiums right down. We are looking at a reduction of 8 to 20% in your insurance premiums by basically putting in very few extra sensors, pulling all the data you already have and delivering that through. And again, for the alarm receiving sensors, I won't dwell on this too much. It's getting down to which is a real alarm, which is a false alarm. We filter all that out and we reduce your impacts massively. We're here to look at how we help you with real-time maintenance of equipment, fire incident monitoring. Is it really a fire? Is it something that's just gone wrong, and therefore rapidly change that? And it's all built inside your digital twin. It's efficiency from start to finish right across there. It's taking what most of you actually already have, combining it back on the BSI standards, on the fire regulation standards to one real solution. And this is where the data that's there in the building already, we match it to your Fire Safety Act, we match the BSI standards, and you get to see what's running correctly, where you're going wrong. And actually, let me say most buildings, every building we put our technology into, we've seen issues very rapidly fester. Now you can focus on what you're doing wrong, and you can focus on what should be done better, and quickly sort that out. The amount of extra sensors we go into a building are very few. In most modern buildings, we would only put in a tiny layer of extra, maybe pressure sensors in the top of wet risers, sensors to make sure that your HVAC system that's pulling smoke out of the building is working correctly. Very few bits have to be there. But what we do is take it back to this one solution, this one way of you. I'll fast forward this slide now. One slide where it's going to give you your detection level of how well you run that building, and you'll see very clearly where that comes through. So what we will do is reduce the fire occurrences by 77%, and that's on the basis of 14,050 buildings already having this technology put in there. The efficiency that happens after something does go wrong is massively increased because you have a digitalized twin that shows what's happening. Everything from the response times to the amount of staff you need are reduced right down because you're digitalizing what is in most countries around the world a paper-based system, which, let's face facts, people are box ticking, signing dates and names in certain buildings, and we know that it's actually not a proper way to actually deliver that. By delivering for you a 2D, 3D visualization, a digital twin of a building, you really are moving to a new solution. So here is here's sort of our deep level system alert we have for you, how we manage the entire system from left to right. Okay, it's all cloud-based in most cases. We can do on-prem, but this is how it's mainly done. We build your digital twin. Your digital twin takes into every single sensor, every pressure gauge, the fire doors, you name it, it's all in a digital twin. It's alerting you constantly to what is going wrong and why and how to get that sorted out. You're delivering intelligence right across the board. And by having the benchmarking, by having your dashboard there delivered against all of these acts, it is the leverage you need to go and deliver a smart building. As I've said before, in the case of my building here, we can show during an evacuation exactly how each stairway is being used, what's over capacity, what's under capacity, where people with disabilities are in real time. And we show in a digital twin to the fire services of Saudi or Kuwait or Oman or anywhere else what is happening as they go on the way to that building. They have the digital twin on a screen. They know what's happening in there. As their firefighters go in, they can see where they are within the digital twin. They can see where the fire is right now. They can see where smoke is leading to. You have transparency, complete X-ray transparency of a building that allows you as a fire chief to make all the right decisions on the spot. Do you start doing floor by floor evacuation? Do you call for full evacuation based on maybe the occupancy levels on that day? But you get to see where your firefighters are. You can direct them by looking through that X-ray of the building in front of you. This is a simple solution to deploy. We often just put our technology inside your access cards or use face recognition or several other new solutions we've developed over the last few years. We install the technology, we analyze, and we do the actions for you. We tell you what needs to happen and why and when. It gives you data that you can then use on predictive analysis to know what is going to happen the next day. How late can you put your HVAC on? How low can you put your fans? How early can you turn it off? How do you trigger smart lighting? So when the last person leaves your floor, all your lights are off immediately. This is where you're going to save a lot of energy and save costs on fire insurance. So the design concept is there. It's very simple. On a 50-minute call, I'm not going to take you through enough detail today. It's all built out correctly. It's all been analyzed to the nth degree to deliver for you the data.
For 2 minutes, please.
Yes, Paul, you have an extra more 7 minutes. Okay, don't worry. Okay, not 3 minutes, 7 minutes you have.
Oh my goodness! I was rushing like I was a racehorse commentator there trying to get through these slides. Okay, well listen. So here's some of the case studies I thought I'd bring up today for you. So one of the buildings we have is an old people's home in Shanghai. Now it's a 17-story building. A lot of people with Alzheimer's, etc. And what we've put in place in this building is a way where the reception staff have data on the screens in front of them when they know an old person who's got maybe has dementia on a grand scale, who shouldn't be leaving the building. As soon as they get near an exit, there's an alert to the staff to say that this particular old person who is not allowed out of the building is now here and you should intervene right now. Other members can come in and out of this building freely. What allows us also to have full systems on everything to do with the water and smoke detection within the building. So obviously anything that happens here, they haven't got the mobility ease that maybe some of us who are much younger have. And this is why in Shanghai, they've changed the entire fire safety standards based on what we've done here with the Rainbow building in Shanghai. We've now got 14,050 buildings, mainly around China, that have got this in place, and it's delivering the impacts that we expect. Again, another one, Shanghai-based one as well. Here is a mall where we need to obviously know who's in the mall, how it's evacuating, what happens when a fire goes through a mall, as we've seen in many cases around the world, can be devastating. It's ensuring that this building is running completely correctly, that all the fire blankets and doors and etc. are running and being detected constantly. Okay, and one of the most important ones is this high security building we've done in the UK. It's got a lot of government papers which cannot be destroyed, and therefore they have the biggest deployment of energy gas in the whole of Europe. Now, what we have to know in this building, which has anything up to 700-800 people in there at any one time, is who is in the building, who's not in the building. If the alarm goes off, we have to, through all the 13 evacuation doorways, know who has exited, where they are, that they're out of that building, and who we're left with. And we have a whole dashboard that literally takes us from the 800 people right the way down And we know if anyone's left in the building. We know who they are. We have their phone number immediately, and we can act straight away. As soon as we know all 700 or 800 people out of the building, then the nitrogen gas deployment kicks in, and the gas suppresses these fires. It means you can have high-risk buildings like this with very sensitive materials and not get caught out with having to use water-based extinguishers, okay? In terms of the return of investment, it's very simple. What we're finally giving you is absolute clarity on what is happening in your building. You have all the insights you can wish to see, what your occupancy levels are on every single floor of the building, the overall occupancy of the building, the predictive analysis of what that's going to look like. And that's how you can go in there and you can start really assessing the way to reduce your carbon footprints. And it is looking at floor by floor, culture, the predictive analysis that happens from Monday to Sunday, where you can make your carbon reductions right down. And, the Middle East has got a lot of oil, we know, but this is not the point. The point is, if we can bring energy efficiency to these buildings, you cut down the amount of carbon you need to power in the first place. We're going to drive those efficiencies in FM. We're going to bring your insurance premiums down by 8 to 20% and reduce your energy costs by between 21 and 24% in most cases. But for me, the most important thing here is control and safety, okay? It is paramount. The Middle East has got outrageous temperatures, especially during the summer, and through global warming, things are not going to get any better. We all know that. This is going to allow you to have buildings react immediately, and you reduce your risk to life straight away. It's a gold standard in fire safety protection, and it gives you clear data for you to start benchmarking today on ESG standards, how you're doing today, what you're going to do next year and the year after. My focus is, and has been for the last couple of years, on how we deliver data to cut your costs and deliver you a building that is going to be increase in its asset value as well. So that's it for now. I've raced through as much as I possibly could in those 15 minutes. I'm more than happy to take 2 hours next time we speak. But look, it's something which I'm very passionate about. We've had personally within our company here, one of my directors, my COO, was one of the partners at Cantor Fitzgerald. He lost a huge number of people in 9/11. And we see that in 9/11, what shouldn't have happened was nobody had any idea where the firefighters were. This is how we sort of go forward and bring clarity where there is none right now. I am very excited about our growth in the Middle East. And Dr. Hanani, thank you again for having me on this year. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul, for your excellent presentation. Thank you so much. We'll move to the next presentation, and I will be presenting the next one. My name is Khalifa Al-Jabri, and I am a professor of civil engineering in the Department of Civil and Architectural Engineering at Sultan Qaboos University. Actually, the Institution of Civil Engineers has asked me to present my talk in this presentation. Actually, I am the Institution of Civil Engineers representative, country representative for Oman. And in my presentation today, I will discuss an important topic, which is now it is a hot topic in all countries of the world, not only Oman, and especially in the Gulf region, which is the subject of sustainability, smart cities, and sustainable infrastructure. And therefore, in my presentation, I will discuss the Oman strategies and initiatives in order to have to reimagining the future of Oman based on Vision Oman 2040 and also the Oman National Spatial Strategy. And therefore, my presentation will focus on the introduction, impact of climate change on infrastructure, Oman's sustainable planning and infrastructure strategies, alignment of Oman National Spatial Strategy objectives with Vision Oman 2040, and Oman Sustainable Infrastructure Initiatives, examples of mega sustainable and smart city projects in Oman. And then I will conclude my presentation. As we know, Oman is a country which is, it is a Gulf country, which is located on the southeast corner of Arabian Peninsula. And Oman had an infrastructure. Let me see my presentation. Yes, Oman hard infrastructure supports transportation, trade, and water management, and contributing significantly to national development. Oman is dividing into 11 governorates and 53 cities. We call them wilaya or wilayat. And the major cities in Oman include Muscat, which is the capital, Sohar, the industrial city, Nizwa, Sur, and Salalah. These are the major cities in Oman. Oman is making notable progress across various governance and infrastructure. Actually, in Oman, we had a very excellent infrastructure. We have very excellent road quality, and the ranking, we have a good ranking in quality infrastructure. And this is among the strongest indicators. And also governance and environmental indices show significant gains which can help to attract business. Oman ranked among the 4th among developing economies globally for greenfield ICT infrastructure projects. Oman has a coastline spanning about more than 3,000 kilometers and an extensive network of approximately 60,000 kilometers of roads, including 2,000 kilometers, which is classified as major roads and highways. And Oman ranked 8th globally and 2nd in the Arab world for the quality of the road and the road network. Oman has 3 international airports, 1 domestic airport, 3 major ports, 3 small ports, and significant water infrastructure, including a major dam and several recharge dams. But unfortunately, due to the location of Oman on the Arabian Sea and also extending to the Indian Ocean, and due to the also the nature topography of Oman, Oman is highly vulnerable to climate hazards. So frequently we get cyclones, flash floods, sea level rise, and storm surge hazards. And these events, climate change events, threatening the infrastructure in Oman. And therefore, we had, for example, in 2007, a major cyclone called Gonu, which destroyed the majority of infrastructure in Muscat, which is the capital in Oman. And also in 2024, we had a very strong flash floods, and this combined has caused damages exceeding $5 billion. And this underscores the urgent need for climate resilience strategies. Now, also the frequency of the climate change events has increased in the recent years. And you can see here in the presentation how the frequent and the duration of these cyclones from 2007 to 2022 Oman has witnessed more than 4 major cyclones. And therefore, the presentation will focus on the initiatives and strategies that are adopted in Oman for future sustainable infrastructure and smart cities. This includes Vision Oman 2040 and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Oman National Spatial Strategy. And therefore, alignment with Oman Vision Oman 2040, this emphasizing sustainability, smart city, and resilience. And these initiatives support Vision Oman 2040 goals of building adaptive, secure, and sustainable economy and infrastructure. You can see these are some examples of the devastative effects of the cyclones which hit Oman in the previous years. And you can see there is major destruction in the infrastructure, and also the impact of the climate change events on the urban landscape in Oman. And you can see there is a total destruction of the bridges, houses, roads, and also the huge areas were covered with floods and with water. And these events really makes us in a terrible situation regarding our infrastructure. And therefore, the Oman Vision Oman 2040 was developed, and it's based on the sustainable development and economic diversification, integrating climate resilience and environmental sustainability into the country's long-term planning. Also, it emphasizes on sustainable urban planning, promoting green spaces, efficient public transportation, and smart city initiatives to reduce urban heat islands and enhance the quality of life. By prioritizing the resilient infrastructure, the vision supports the development of buildings and facilities that can withstand extreme weather events, reducing economic losses and ensuring safety. And also we have an initiative for sustainable cities, initiative for smart sustainable cities such as Sultan Haytham City and Sustainable City in Yeti. So this promotes also the climate responsive design and resilient infrastructure. Oman National Spatial Strategy 2040, it is a national level spatial framework guiding urban and rural development in Oman up to 2040. It aligns with Vision Oman 2040 and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The strategy directs land use, infrastructure development, settlement expansion, environmental protection, and also balanced regional growth. So what are the key drivers? Rapid urbanization, population growth, and economic diversification away from the oil, unbalanced regional development with big concentration in Muscat. And we have also the sustainable development needs, protecting natural resources and also climate adaptation. And Oman currently is working in the national adaptation plan, and also to unify planning efforts under a coherent national vision. So what are the key features? The scope covers the period to 2040, including national, regional, and planning frameworks. Spatial planning defines the land use policy, growth areas, and settlement hierarchies. A greater cities concept So we have promote cities like Muscat, Sohar, Salalah as a growth engines, and also thematic priorities. So we have balanced growth, sustainable resources use, smart cities, and heritage protection. And therefore, what are the examples? That, for example, we need to have greater cities, and we have a plan for greater Muscat structural plan implementation. And this has already started since beginning of 2024. Sohar and North Al-Batin, a region identified as a key logistic hub. Sohar is it has the industrial port and also a free zone which attracts foreign global investors to invest in Sohar area and also in Oman. Smart cities planned for Sohar, Nizwa, and Salalah cities. Implementation, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning leads this strategy, coordinating with governorates and also municipalities. The strategy establishes frameworks for regional and local plans and emphasizes GIS and spatial data infrastructure for implementation. This is an example for the expansion or the master plan for greater Muscat. And we have so we are going to have like smart and sustainable region and sustainable urban planning, where we can have integrated transport system with metro, tunnels, water taxis to reduce the car dependence. Zoned economic clusters for industry. So there will be zones for tourism, knowledge, and logistics. Sustainable or urban growth, which is emphasizes in green spaces and environmental resilience. Planned land use, ensuring balanced housing, services, and infrastructure, and also enhance livability. This is the Oman Vision 2040 stands in 4 pillars: people and society, economy and development, environmental sustainability, governance, and institutional performance. And Oman national spatial strategy should align its objectives with the Vision Oman 2040. And therefore, for example, for people and society, there is a lot of objectives that should be satisfied. And here we have a key focus area. For example, we need to promote balanced regional development and social equity, enhance quality of life and access to services, preserve Omani culture and identity in spatial planning. For example, the key focus areas: affordable housing, health and education access, cultural heritage protection. Oman is rich in cultural heritage, and therefore we need to preserve this valuable heritage. Safe and inclusive communities. For example, for the environment and sustainability, we need to protect the natural resources and ecosystems, promote compact, efficient urban development, enhance climate resilience and sustainability. Key focus areas: land and water management, renewable energy integration, conservation of biodiversity, and also we need to have sustainable agriculture. For the governance and institutional performance, strengthen multi-level spatial governance, integrate planning across sectors and regions. And here we have key focus areas: national and regional coordination, and also we have the planning regulations. So these are very important issues that we need to think for the future. And also these are some of the initiatives for the infrastructure. For example, for urban development, we have the Oman National Spatial Strategy, sustainable cities, green infrastructure initiatives, net zero carbon emission strategy, smart infrastructure systems, sustainable planning and construction. Water management, we need to have the initiatives, the green infrastructure initiatives, renewable energy projects, smart infrastructure systems, sustainable cities, and zero carbon emission strategies as well. Transportation, we need to have smart infrastructure systems, flood barriers and seawalls, sustainable city, renewable energy projects. Communication, we need to smart infrastructure, renewable energy projects, green infrastructure initiatives, tourism. This will be achieved through the sustainable cities, net zero carbon emission strategy, green infrastructure initiatives. And these are some examples of the projects. I will not go through them due to the shortage of time. And these are some examples of mega sustainable and smart city projects. One of the major projects now in Oman is Sultan Haytham Sustainable City. And this is Oman's pioneering smart and sustainable city located in Muscat Governorate and designed for 100,000 residents. The city aims to embody Vision Oman 2040 by integrating residential, commercial, educational, and recreational zones with smart technologies and eco-friendly principles. And key features includes green spaces, integrated public services, smart infrastructure, and focus on sustainability through renewable energy and water conservation. And these are some pictures of His Majesty in the ceremony of laying the foundation for the Sultan Haytham city. We have Yeti Sustainable City also. This brings together a pioneering vision of sustainability and unparalleled quality of community living to Oman. The main objective is to improve quality of life for residents and using clean energy, water and wastewater recycling, food production, clean mobility, and better air quality. And this is Oman's first net zero energy city. We have also one of the big projects, and this is a strategic project, which is Sohar Abu Dhabi Railway. And this project is under construction, and it's 238 kilometers. Actually, across the borders, the railway between the major port in Oman at Sohar port, and the free zone Oman, and also the city of Abu Dhabi. And the project is valued at approximately $2.5 billion, and we have freight trains and also passenger trains. So the passenger trains will travel at speed of 200 kilometers per hour, reducing the travel time between Abu Dhabi and Sohar to 100 minutes only. And also we have a major road projects which connects Diba, Lima, and Khasab. And this is a major strategic infrastructure project in Oman, Masandam Governorate. And to be honest with you, this project is challenging with mountainous topography of Masandam, which is required extensive civil engineering. And the projects include 11 projects and more than 300 box culverts. And earlier plans mentioned 7 tunnels, which is totaling 7.3 kilometers. And therefore, in the concluding, the strategic vision and national alignment, Oman Sustainable Infrastructure and Smart City Agenda, guided by Vision Oman 2040 and the National Oman Spatial Strategy, establishes a long-term framework for balanced regional growth, environmental protection, and economic diversification. The ONSS promotes coordinating spatial planning that enhances urban resilience through sustainable land use, smart infrastructure systems, and renewable energy integration, reducing vulnerability to climate related risks. Given Oman's exposure to cyclones, floods, and sea level rise, the presentation emphasizes the necessity of embedding climate adaptation measures such as resilient transport systems, green infrastructure, and adaptive water management into every stage of planning and construction. Mega projects like Sultan Haytham City and the Sustainable City at Yiti demonstrate Oman's move towards low carbon, smart, and people-centered urban development, creating new opportunities for innovation, employment, and sustainable tourism, strengthening multi-level spatial governance, leveraging GIS and smart city technologies, and promoting data-driven decision-making are key to achieving efficiency, transparency, and sustainability across all sectors. And achieving Vision Oman 2040 goals requires continued investments in green infrastructure, renewable energy, and smart urban solutions, ensuring that Oman cities remain livable, adaptive, and resilient in the face of future challenges. Thank you so much for your attention. And this is my card. If you have any questions, any queries for the future, please, you can contact me at any time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your attention. And now we will open the floor for discussions. So for our audience, if you have any questions, please, you can ask myself or you can ask Paul.
I'll jump in seeing as there's too much silence, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Very impressive presentation, really. I've been to Oman a couple of times, very briefly to Oman, but I had no idea you were getting hit with those cyclones so badly. How do you cope? I mean, with the way weather forecasting is going, how are you going to cope with those floods? Are you looking at building artificial lakes? Is there I don't know if you look into Shenzhen, but Shenzhen is what we call a sponge city, where it's been developed to take in vast amounts of rain through the way they've planned the city. I mean, what sort of ideas have you got in terms of making sure you mitigate these disastrous floods, which I was shocked to see in your presentation?
In Oman, we have an effective early warning system. Oman early warning system for the natural disasters is one of the, I think, one of the best in the world, where there's warning is called enough time before the disaster. Once the cyclone is formed in the Indian Ocean, there is a continuous warning from the authorities. And also, there is a proper coordination with different authorities. In Oman, we have a committee for emergency. And this committee has members from different government and social society, from also the army, police. And there's a proper coordination for evacuation of the resident, and also for coordinating the evacuation for the refuge. So we have a very good like early warning system and also evacuation process. Okay. To mitigate these effects, now the government has done a lot of efforts. Like, for example, there is a lot of dams, protective dams, which have been built in different cities in Oman, so that it will reduce the effect of the detrimental effects of the either flash floods or cyclones. Also, Oman is working on the updating of the building codes, and also of the flash flood codes as well. And also, Oman is working now on the National Adaptation Plan and also in the mitigation plans as well. Oman now trying to reduce the CO2 emissions by a certain amount by 2040. And also it's working on its national adaptation plan so that we can find more ways in order to adapt to the effect of these climate change events.
Very
Yes.
good. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Any other questions?
Well, I'll jump in again. And in terms of look, it's been a number of years I've been back to Oman. In terms of your sort of high-rise buildings, how many have you now developed over Oman? In terms, is that you've got a lot of space, but you haven't turned it into a Dubai or that yet, have you? I mean, have you got a lot of high-rise buildings over in Oman?
In Oman, we don't have high-rise buildings.
Yeah, I couldn't remember seeing any when I was
In
there
Oman,
last summer.
the maximum buildings is with maximum 15 floors.
Okay, good. Good.
Oman is preferring to go to develop horizontally, not vertically.
Well, I clap for you.
So in Oman, we need to maintain also our, I don't know, they call it our culture, our identity. So in Oman, we don't have like skyscrapers. If you come to Oman, you will find our buildings are high dwarfs compared to the buildings in Dubai or in Qatar or in Saudi Arabia. So we don't have like tall buildings.
4.46 million, 4.78 million.
Very good, very good, very good. No, I mean, you have a very unique culture. I remember when I first landed in Oman, it was the friendliness of the Omani people was just overwhelming. So yeah, keep that up. Don't get swayed by other cultures, okay? There's certainly something very memorable about the Omanis. So more power to you for not copying everybody else, okay?
Yes, thank you, Paul. So any other questions?
Thank you so much for your presentation, Dr. Khalifa, Professor Khalifa. It was amazing. You're talking about the smart cities in Oman. And, Paul, Oman, there are plenty of United Kingdom company investing in Oman and doing a lot of construction. Specifically, I have my friend of mine, more than 30 years, called Leeds International. They run many, yeah. You see the CEO last time, Mr. Richard Peer, and they have plenty of projects in Oman. Because Oman, it's a leading market, and they having plenty of smart cities and plenty of construction in Oman.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I look forward to visiting you again, Dr. Khalifa, in Oman next time.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Paul. You are most welcome.
Thank you.
Still we have 10 minutes. Would you mind to inform us, Paul, about your experiences in the Middle East, in which the country you be, and you deliver some projects?
I mean, I've done a lot of sort of I've done some big scope thinking for Saudi for Hajj and Umrah. They asked me to sort of get involved in a real deep, blue sky thinking about how we could help with security for Hajj and Umrah in particular. And there we were allowed to sort of let ourselves free and really come up with some of the big ideas which maybe wouldn't normally happen in normal scenarios. And a lot of what we tried to do there was look at how we could do predictive analysis of when we know crowds are going to start becoming an issue, and very early on sort of alert that so that you start taking preemptive steps much earlier than normal to know that in 15, 20, 30 minutes, you're going to have an issue with overcrowding. And a lot of what we did was looked at how we could help with efficiency. So obviously with the huge volumes of people going for Hajj and Umrah in Saudi, one of our solutions was to look at how we build a visa. So when you apply for your visa to go to Saudi, you actually get a card, and that card would be built with lots of technologies that will allow us to know when you get off the plane. So from the plane to going through immigration, to baggage control, to getting on which sort of transport you got onto, when you arrived in the hotel, automatically, instead of going to a receptionist, you use that Visa card to as a way of touching a kiosk, which would program that Visa card to be your hotel room door key and instructing you on everything. So it was a way of detecting you through key points within the city, even down to the malls. We know when you walked into a mall, we know which stores you walked into, which stores you purchased from, which restaurants you went to. And a lot of what we tried to do with that was look at how we then segment those huge volumes of people and decide what type of person they were. And one of the big ideas we came back for Hajj in particular was that we look at cultural events. So maybe a Filipino cultural event or a Bangladeshi cultural event or a Omani cultural event. And we look at the people who've gone from those cities, segment them up and market them in a way where they go back during the outside the Hajj period to sort of keep that city running much more. So between that and other solutions I've done in Dubai, which have been looking at the high rise sector, that's really what my experience so far in the Far East is. I'm looking to really sort of motor on in the next year or two to expand across the Far East much harder, because we're seeing a lot of issues. We've seen in Dubai in particular, a lot of high-rise fires happen there. And with climate change and the temperatures going up and up and up, it's just going to happen more and more frequently now. So I want to think a lot of what we've done in the Far East. I mean, I've been spending significantly more time recently in the Far East, in Vietnam, in Malaysia, Hong Kong, and particularly in China, mainly around Shanghai and Shenzhen, in looking at how far they've proceeded with safety aspects, especially in buildings. Very early warning, like you mentioned, Dr. Khalifa, the early warning systems, which allow you to know what is likely to happen, what you need to be mitigating against much more efficiently. And my focus isn't, as I mentioned earlier on, it's really to try and get people to think more about how you take, your dumb building, you make it smart, but actually this saves you money by making it smart, not cost you money. There's a narrative out there around the green agenda, which is all going to cost us, trillions and trillions of dollars. And yet what I see is that a lot of the ways you can finance solar, you can finance various different things, you can actually really make money very rapidly and save money rather than cost money. And one of the things I'm vocal about is getting away from this narrative of going green is going to cost your economy. It just isn't. You can make massive strides very quickly and save you a lot of money. And certainly, I'd be very open to come over to Oman and show what we can illustrate in some of the buildings there to reduce energy down. And a lot of this, as I mentioned earlier on, is common sense things. It's what frustrates me massively based in Canary Wharf in London is I sit in Canary Wharf with all these high-rise buildings, and I look over the city of London with all these high-rise buildings, and at nighttime it's like a forest, Christmas trees, and these buildings are lit up all night long, and it's over really, very, very dumb reasons that that's the case. It's often a security guard is walking through each floor every couple of hours, and he'll trigger all the lights on for 30 minutes. And, we're in 2025. It's not rocket science to know that a security guard's arrived on your floor and he's no longer there. So what we're doing is building the buildings, the intelligence at 2 a.m. when there's no lights on it and a security guard arrives and 90 seconds later he's gone, that we know he's gone, and we override systems and turn all those lights off. I mean, my floor here, I've counted, it's 448 lights that get triggered on for at least 2 hours every night for absolutely no reason. And, I often joke I'll get a Nobel Prize for common sense, but nothing more than that. But it's looking at where your energy is being used, why is it being used that way, asking yourself, how can I mitigate against this? Should I really have a building that every morning at 6 a.m. the HVAC goes on and at 8 p.m. it automatically goes off? You've got to start looking at weather patterns. If tomorrow in Muscat it's going to be overcast all day long, and that day, that a Wednesday Muscat has got a certain level of people coming to an office, then get the HVAC system to come on later, get the fans down lower, get it to turn off earlier in the evening. And you save a lot of money very quickly. And this is at the end of the day, we've gone through a crisis. We've seen a property values drop, especially I just got back from Hong Kong where rents are down by 40 to 50%. You've got to find savings and you've got to do it really easy and keep it simple. And it's all about what I would say to everybody here. Going forward, it's all about collaboration. Is nobody has got a silver bullet. We all have to build our silver bullet as brilliantly as we can and combine these silver bullets together to go and deliver an overall outcome, which will be massive energy reductions, safer, smarter buildings.
Many thanks, Paul, for your explanation. We are always interested in your collaboration with different countries. Professor Khalifa, did you want to conclude and closing the session? You muted yourself, Professor Khalifa.
Yes,
Professor
thank you,
Khalifa.
thank you, Dr. Hanadi, and thank you so much for attending this session. And I hope this session was useful. If you have any questions, any concerns, any queries to Paul or to me, you are most welcome to contact us at any time. And thank you so much for listening to us, and thank you for your time. Thank you so much.